Hey, this is Jerry Visca, your Why guy and publisher of Defyeneurs, and welcome to the 2018 launch issue. This is the Getting Real issue, and I'm really excited because it's everyday people like Lynn Matsuda of Northern California who are getting real, starting to get real with why they're here. And what I love about these types of interviews is we don't seek perfection. We just have an incredible conversation. So Lynn, welcome.
Hi, welcome. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Lynn,
Great.
I'm excited. You're back from Hawaii. You're back to Northern California, which is a bit chilly.
Yes, but we're going to Arizona tomorrow, and that's a little bit warmer for a few days. So
that is one of my favorite places of all time. I love that area. So, I really enjoyed our why time together, Lynn. And I always say that our deeper why is this way of being, and eventually ignites the way when we step into it, when we kind of launch into it. And I'm going to share yours because I love it. I exist to connect others to themselves. And I'll tell you why I love that so much. We live in what's supposed to be a connection age, but we're more disconnected than ever. And we actually don't know how to connect to our inner selves. We've lost that ability. And it's interesting because I'm writing my second transformational novel called Why Am I Here? And it's all about, and this actually gave me the inspiration because, this hero starts to remember the whisper from his heart to connect to himself. And I think about this deeper why, and I'm really excited. So there's a quote that you have in your profile, and I love it. And I want to share it with listeners. It goes like this: as I progress on my journey of helping others connect to themselves, I will impact some in minor and possibly major ways. So, Lynn, you've been on an incredible journey. You've seen transformation in yourself. Share with me, what does this why mean to you?
well, I think what was very interesting is when we had our time together is the fact that I was always what I call myself an initiator, and connecting people, staying connected with people, and really not looking at it as anything more than just making sure we always had dinner, or we always kept in touch with each other. But then going through or starting this journey about connecting others to themselves really is, as we spoke, I sort of lead myself. And I think it's interesting, or it's going to be a great journey as I now go forward, helping others to really find how do they connect, or what really connects them so that they can achieve their goals. And so to some cases, it might be a little spark, and maybe in some major. I mean, that's usually what happens when somebody gives somebody a new perspective, which is really what this has done for me, and how it gives me some time for pause.
I love that. I love what you just said, Lynn, about leading yourself. And then I take a lot of notes during these. So listeners, I encourage you to take notes when we're doing these kind of amazing interviews. But I like what you said about what really connects you. And see, if you were to ask me that, as if you met me and we started to connect, and I would say that's a great question, Lynn, because for me, I need me time. As a writer, I need a lot of quiet time. I need a lot of time on my own. And I'm also a global speaker. So there's times where I'm always out there inspiring others, but to really connect with me is me time. So I love that you're leading that way with what connects you, even just asking that question. So let's stay on that. When do you feel most connected, Lynn? Is it traveling to places like Hawaii? Like, what connects you to yourself?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with, I do love going to Hawaii. It's just a great place. I just feel so at peace. The ocean, really, when I go on my walks, I go usually on a 6-mile walk every day, and I go up to a lookout point to see the ocean. And it's just very invigorating, and it just, helps me to feel very free, and as opposed to being here in Sacramento where you just have concrete, and I tell all my friends and family, you've got a great place in Hawaii to exercise, be outside, see the ocean, as opposed to just concrete, so
I love that.
Hawaii is really nice. It's just very invigorating to me.
I love what you just said there, Lynn. When you're in Hawaii, you seek out this area, this place that really speaks to you. And that's
Yeah.
what it's about. That's a great tip right there. Just, in our day-to-day lives, we can seek out that little bit of Hawaii, if you will, in our day-to-day lives. And that's right there. So there's another quote that you share, and it goes like this: getting real with my why started with being curious and open. So I love that. So share with us, how have you been getting real since that why time? How are you continually getting real with your why?
Well, it's just continually thinking about, okay, what does that really mean? How can I, through conversation or through my interaction with my friends, new friends, how do I impart that so I don't look weird, number one, but, just trying to help them, if maybe sometimes they feel that things are going well, but maybe if they had a little bit of more insight, they can achieve more. And I think in this last year, being open to different experiences that are outside of my norm has helped us, to myself and my husband, to achieve some things that we hadn't done up till now. We've earned some, nice trips and so forth and different things. And so it's just opened up, I think, just different avenues when you're receptive to change.
I love that. Let's stay on that. Why do you think, Lynn, most people resist from being open and being curious about change in their lives? What have you seen?
Well, I think it's because they feel comfortable. It's very uncomfortable to do something that you're not used to. Some people feel that their way is always the right way, and no matter what everybody else says, that it's not going to make anything different. So I think, my girlfriend has told me that although I question things, I'm always very open to it and not resistant, because you never know. I mean, you just never know. It may not be that you're going to wholeheartedly say, whoa, I'm just going to go full blast, but it helps you to just give different dimensions to your life.
I love that. I love what you said about being uncomfortable, and maybe that's a great tip: getting uncomfortable with being so comfortable, or getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, right?
Exactly.
Now, I remember you sharing with me, you have a very rational mind, and
I do.
And you're an initiator, and I mean that has served you very well. You were curious with the why time, this understanding of that deeper why. How do you feel that could serve other people? Why is that something you were curious about?
Well, even though if you have a comfortable life or you feel very satisfied, that there's probably something more that you could be doing. And so I always thought, and I think I said it in the article, that I've always thought, what is it that I'm going to be when I grow up?
Yeah.
And, I'm kind of getting a little bit grown up, I suppose, but it's just, why am I really here? What is that more impactful reason? And so that's why I was curious, because I couldn't really think of anything. When you're not fortunately feeling that, life's really hard, or, you're feeling very good about your life and your friends and your family, but that there's something else. And so I was very curious to that. And so I want to incorporate that more deeper purpose into my ongoing life.
I love it. This is why I'm so connected to this deeper why. And for listeners, we refer to this deeper why as the world held by you, WHY. And it's a way of being. And we get very defined as human beings by doing. If I'm not doing, and we think that our whole lives and existence is driven by the doing. But this why is a way of being. But what I love about this deeper why, Lynn, is that this connection of this ability to connect others to themselves originates with curiosity and being open. And I think that right there, I have this vision of you in that place, in that sacred place in Hawaii, and what that means. But you probably got curious about that, because other people that have traveled maybe to the same area of Hawaii, which is a great example, may not have taken that trip, right? They may not have ventured at that peaceful place. And I think what you're doing so well because why is questions. It's asking those questions. What will connect me to myself, right? So there's another quote you share that I really love, and it goes like this: knowing my why has focused me on being an advocate to others. I mean, that's so cool, Lynn, that you're serving others. You're like this ambassador for others. So how is living your why and starting to ignite this connection to yourself? How is that impacting others around you?
Well, I think, part of it is really to just ask that other question to people. And, because I think a lot of times people have the more superficial type of why, I want to do this, something very simple, but not the more deeper reason like myself, which I didn't have. And so, I'm a really good referrer of something that I truly believe in, whether it's restaurants, places to go visit. I have lists, places that I like to go. I'm a very good referrer. And so I think just telling people that, knowing that if they don't feel that they truly have been introspective to figure that out for themselves, that really going through a process like this can be very helpful to them. And again, some may or may not, it may not resonate with them, but it's worth just exploring it and opening it up to people, because they may not know about that. And I didn't really know about this until I happened to speak to someone else that mentioned it and was very enthused about it. So I said, okay, that was well, why not? Why not see what that's about? So again, it's just being open and receptive to new ideas. And, you're either going to like it or you're not, but there's no harm, no foul, right? So
these are great answers. And these are also great tips. And I like what you said, that a lot of us have these superficial whys. And I see this, as the why guy, I see this all the time, where I like to say that why is not a goal. It's fine to have the reasons you want to do certain things, but this deeper why, this deeper, profound why, this purpose that we refer to, when you start to tap into that, it ignites the way, and it surrounds you with this energy that attracts people to you. And that's what's so cool. So I love how you've just stepped into this with curiosity. Okay, so the last question I have is becoming aware, and there's no perfection around how you're living your why, but some things have shifted in your life. What are some of the things that either had to shift or maybe have been shifting in your life now that you have that clarity?
I think it's maybe being a little bit more curious, and asking more questions, or when I talk to, my friends that may be more into that type of an arena, asking more questions there. So like you said earlier, being a little bit more curious has just sort of opened up different avenues where before I didn't really go there. I didn't really even know what to say. So then you can't really have a conversation. So I think now it's just, again, when I have conversations with people, not that you're going to do it every single time, but when the situation arises, then you might have that question like, well, why? What's driving you? What will help you to really connect with yourself so that you could fulfill some of your dreams or your aspirations that you have, and what's stopping you? And like with our talk, it was leading myself. I mean, I do that myself. Like yours is your quiet time, your me time. Mine is leading myself. I get things done by doing it myself in many cases. So
it's fantastic. Okay, so are you still an initiator, or have you evolved from being an initiator? Where are you at with that?
Well, I am still an initiator, but I'm an initiator in maybe a different dimension now. So not only just in, remaining connected to my friends or associates, but also to, when I have those opportunities, to maybe help them to connect to themselves in other ways, or give them other options that they can pursue themselves if they like.
Fantastic. It's fantastic. Lynn, for listeners, what are some of your top tips, 2 or 3 top tips for starting to get curious, to starting to ask those questions of connecting to yourself? What would they be?
Well, I think number one is as we were speaking earlier, is really just be open. Be open to new ideas, new ways of thinking, giving it a try. Even though you hear it, give it a try and see if it's going to work for you. If it does, it's wonderful. If it doesn't, just move on. And another tip would just be, I think, just have fun with everything that you're doing and enjoy your life and enjoy the people that are around you, and really not take anything for granted.
These are great tips. Be open to new ideas. Be curious. Give it a try, right? You've heard it. Just give it a try. See how it fits. And you might surprise yourself.
Exactly.
And I'm sure you and your husband have been trying new things and seeking new things out. And then the last one of joy, I think, that's the essence of your deeper why. I often say the why is arrived at a combination. It's an equation of your passion, which is your joy, because I won't do things that aren't joyful.
Right.
Like launching Defyeneurs magazine years ago was part of this joy around this very thing right here, creating this why platform. And then purpose, when you add that to service to others, and in your case, it's connecting to others. Together, they're going to create the outcomes. And that's why I love this why. I exist to connect others to themselves. What a beautiful world that would be, Lynn Matsuda. I call this profile Connecting Others. It's on pages 16 and 17, and it's so inspiring. Northern California is the place to be right now. And on behalf of Defyeneurs, Lynn, thank you so much for stepping into your deeper why and getting a bit uncomfortable, because the world's truly helped by you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you later. Bye.